Okay, so we're here.
We're here.
We're ready to explain the Stars Arena hack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and teach Kieks what happens. So on the left side, we don't have the full code for Stars Arena, so I just wrote up some pretty basic stuff, and this would not run, so it's not like, I know if you're a developer watching this, it'll be like, oh, he's not making the account payable. So it's just supposed to be easier to explain. So yeah, on the left side, we have a very basic Stars Arena contract. You can buy a share, you can sell a share. And then this part at the bottom, you can set your share price. This is actually what the hack used, even though it's not something that was available on the website. It was in the contract. So basically, if you haven't sold any shares, you can change how much they sell for. And that's going to come up again later. So let's explain the hack. So what the hack used is this thing called Reentrancy, which I've talked to you a bit about. But basically, if you have a smart contract, you can code it to do something specific when it receives money. And so that lets us enter into other smart contracts when they're not expecting us to, if we have code that runs when we receive money. And so if we just start looking at this buy share function, the way it works, checks to see if they have the share, if they sent enough money on the share price, and then we transfer the money to the account that they bought the share of, and then we increase the shares sold of that account by 1. So it seems pretty basic, but this isn't checking, so we can buy a share of ourselves, which will then send us money, which can then trigger our own code inside our thing. So if we look on the right side, I wrote up this Arena hack contract. And so, yes, it was hacked, you have to deploy your own smart contract to hack it, basically. And we can see here, we have this receive function, which will get triggered whenever we receive money. And so we're saying when we receive money, we want to set our share price really high. And so this is actually the part that causes the hack to go through. Because, when we're buying a share, we buy our own share, we receive money from ourselves, and then we set our share price really high, which seems pretty obvious. We want to buy a share of ourselves, then set our price really high, and then sell it. So yes, the contract did try and stop this by saying that shares have to be sold before you set your price high. Or sorry, shares can't be sold. Bless you.
Excuse me. Shares
can't be sold when you set your price, because obviously this is bad. You wouldn't want someone buying a share for cheap, then setting the price to infinity and selling it. So they do check for this, but our code gets run right when they transfer us money. So they haven't actually marked the share as sold yet, which is why the hack works. So it's called reentrancy because they're transferring us money and we're entering back into the contract before this buy is complete. That's the sort of core of reentrancy, is you come back and call functions in the contract sort of within a contract function.
Okay.
So it's checking to see if we've sold a share before we set a price, and we haven't yet because we're still in the buy function. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so how do we not let it come in when we're buying?
So there are a bunch of ways to do it. The most simplest one to demonstrate, this is a pretty basic concept that you learn about when you first start smart contract development. Everyone's you need to learn reentrancy attacks because this is the most common hack. And basically the standard practice is the last thing you want to do ever is transfer money. So you want to make sure all of your sort of internal tracking stuff is done before you send money, exactly for this reason, because people can execute code when you send them money. So if we just move this part that's adding 1 to the amount of shares sold before the transfer, so we'll buy our share, it'll mark our shares sold to 1 now instead of 0, and then transfer us money.
Okay.
So then we try to set our price, and it's hey, you've already sold a share.
Whoa.
So you can't do it. But
so
again,
they just need to flip a line.
Yeah, basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is just very common smart contract development. Always transfer at the end. Do everything you need to first, because you need to just assume that you need to assume when you transfer someone money, they can now access like anything on your contract, basically, because of this receive function, how this works.
Okay.
So yeah, then I wrote like a pretty basic hack function for us to call to actually hack the contract. So what it's just going to do is it's going to buy a share of ourselves, and then it's going to sell a share. So this buy is going to trigger sending us money, and then we set our price high, and then we sell our share for $1 million.
Wow.
Does that make sense? Do you have any questions about this?
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, like, so the people writing this just overlooked that step and didn't check it?
I don't know. I think like this is something you learn pretty on. Like I remember when I was going through my smart contract stuff, it's not like you need to like go out of your way to learn this. It's everyone sort of like hammers it home to you, like make sure to transfer last, like do all your other stuff first because they're gonna re-enter if you transfer.
Right.
And I should say another way to stop this, I guess, if we're talking about it, is you can have like some sort of public variable, and then you can say like here we would put something like this, and then this is getting into the weeds a bit, but so basically this is another way that people will stop reentry, which is essentially as soon as someone gets into your function, you have this variable that you say like, okay, yeah, like someone's using the function, and that way, you know, if we would put it like down here as well, we would say like something like this. So as soon as they get into your function, you say, okay, like there's someone in here. So now when we got our money from the transfer and we tried to set our price, it would be like, whoa, like you're still doing other things, like slow down. So that's the other common way to stop it. If for some reason, like you need to order things in a certain way and you like have to send money first before you do the action, that's the other way to stop it. But yeah. That's reentry. It's very common. So like that's when I'm looking to like if I'm looking to see if a contract is secure, that's like the first thing I look at is like how can we reenter, like when are they transferring? Is there stuff updating before they transfer or not?
Okay. Cool. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. I think if the contract was verified, this would have been found pretty quickly, is my guess.
Right. So that was the other main issue, right? And the reservations you kind of had about it.
Yeah, like that's one of the benefits of not verifying is that it makes it harder to find things, but at the end of the day, people might still find it, and then at that point, it's like, you know, like if it was verified, it would have been hacked, I think, like right away, basically.
Really quickly.
Yeah, so, and I should say I don't know for sure this is how it works, it just like seems like this is...
Right.
It seems like this is what happened, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for your knowledge.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.